Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Shenanaguy Plays Trails of Cold Steel. It's been a couple days since the last video. There's been quite a few things I've been working on, projects and such that are quite time consuming, and sleep is kind of important. So I have to be up by 10 in the morning, and I'd be working on whatever project, look over at the clock and realize it's like 4. Which doesn't leave time to, do videos. So I switched my priorities around a little bit and gonna be focusing on the videos a little bit more. Because I definitely was not happy about missing 2 days of uploads. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump right back into our regularly scheduled program, whatever that would be. Right onto the northern region of the Highlands, yes.
Yeah.
Something we can do that I haven't done at all is we can get off the horse and run around. Imagine how long it would take to move around at this pace. Oh man, it would take forever.
Let's get going.
So, horse it is. So much faster. One thing that I wish I had the knowledge to do is creating mods. It would be really cool, I think, to go through this game just top to bottom and just completely remaster it. Try to make it look like a more modern game. You might have to do it in a completely new engine. But these games are pretty simple. If I were to guess, just based on timeline and how the gameplay is in it and everything. So I don't think it would be too difficult to essentially just upload everything into a new game engine and create better shapes and textures and things like that. Make it look like a modern game. The real difficult part is all of the gameplay aspects, like getting all that stuff to move over properly. But the major thing is, so there's 2 major parts to your visuals. Like there's a lot more to it than just 2 parts, but there's basically 2 parts. You have what's called a mesh, which is a skeleton, and your texture, which is the image that is spread over the skeleton. So take this cliff right here, for example. This is a really simple mesh, and as you can see, other than the real sharp edges, it's flat. Like you get close to it and it's just flat. And that's just a good play on the creator, on Falcom's part, with using good shading when they were drawing these textures. Like if you look really closely at it from this distance, you can tell it's flat. But if you're not really paying too much attention to it, it does look like it has a 3D aspect to it. And it's the same with the ground. Like you're running around and the ground, looking at it from the perspective of not really paying attention to it and it just being something that's kind of in the background of your visual, whatever it'd be called. It looks good, but then you stop and you look at it and it's just a flat, low resolution picture. So the major thing for improving the visual quality of these games, the characters and stuff are pretty decent. I mean, the shapes aren't perfect. I mean, the horse, for example, here, like it has much sharper edges than there should be. Like the ears, for example, like this is a very, very simple shape for the ears. But you could fix that by creating a new mesh and using more triangles, a larger number of triangles to get a more like curved kind of edge to it. You would just have to also do a texture to go over it. And doing everything in a new engine, you'd be able to, instead of having just kind of that one mesh and texture that represents the hair, you would be able to do individual strands of hair. And you could do more 3D landscapes, and you could make the backgrounds look more realistic, and it would be cool. But it would be a lot of work. Like, I definitely would be a lot of work. Like I said, especially on the gameplay side of things. Getting all of your scripting and stuff to transfer over, man. I mean, a team of, what, I think 50, 60 people at the time of this game. It was the amount of people that were working at Nihon Falcom when they made it. Like, they were probably working on this game for roughly 5 years. Granted, a good chunk of that would be coming up with the quests and the story and stuff like that, so it wouldn't be too difficult on that aspect, because that's already all there. You just basically have to copy and paste that into whatever the new game is. But pathing, so like the cutscenes, when a character, say, the horse is right there, this is a cutscene, and the cutscene is Reen walking up to the horse. You have to put scripting in that says, hey, character Reen starts at this exact point, walks at this pace along this path to this point. And then you have to animate the reaches and starts petting the horse and whatever else. There's all of that to get that up to par, like the animations. Whew, that would be a lot of work. Anyway, enough of the highly technical, boring talk. Let's go talk to this guy who looks tiny next to this statue. Impressive. I was taken aback by the size of the stone circle in the Southern Highlands, but this is on a whole different level. Oh, hello. What brings you all out here? Come to get a good look at the statue too? Oh, do you think Are you Norton by any chance? Yeah, that's me. Have we met before? Do you have some business with me? Whew, we finally found you. We should bring him up to speed. It sounds like I've caused some unnecessary worry for the people of the settlement. We should get back right away, or rather, I'd like to, but I still haven't finished taking all the photographs I need. Would you mind waiting a bit longer while I finish up? Well, I can't really fault you for being fascinated. It really is impressive. I doubt there's anything like this anywhere else on the continent. Actually, it might surprise you to know that there is. This isn't the only such statue I'm aware of. There's a similar statue on Brionia Island. Oh, way out in the west. Brionia Island, where Group B was sent. Coincidence? Maybe. Wait, Brionia Island? Isn't that where Group B was sent? Oh, if I'd have known they were going to point it out anyway, I wouldn't have mentioned it. Huh. I had no idea there were more of these around. No one knows any more about the statue of Brionia Island than they do about this one. But I'm currently taking pictures of ruins and ancient sites like this. Taking photographs of this area was the reason I came to the Nord Highlands in the first place. Gaius told us that the people of Nord refer to this statue as the guardian of the region. Yeah. The old legends say that this statue was here long before our ancestors came from the east. And that they settled in this land only with its permission. When I saw it, I was immediately reminded of the legend of the Great Knight. You know, now that you mention that, I feel like I've heard that name somewhere before. No doubt, the tale originated during the Dark Ages and spread throughout the Empire. When the land roils with the tide of war, a colossal knight, wreathed in flame, will come forth to quell the conflict. That's the general gist of it anyway. Remember that. Man, I wish I could back it up and read it again, but that sentence there, remember that in that exact wording. I'll try to remember that as well, because that is actually some awesome foreshadowing right there, in a way that you may not expect. What do you mean by that? Well, each region has its own variant of the tale. They all maintain a knight as the central figure, but like all such tales, its veracity is questionable at best. Though it's certainly one of the most mysterious of the legends passed down in the Empire. I see. It does seem like this statue could mesh with that story too. I wonder if they're related somehow. Exclamation! Oh, what was that? Are you okay? I'll be alright. Nothing to worry about. Dots. Anyway, I've come all the way out here, so would you mind waiting until I'm done photographing the site? I was about to say photographing. That is not how that's said. I promise I'll head back to the settlement with you as soon as I'm done. Huh. Well, it doesn't seem like the wildlife has much of an interest in this area. He should be safe here on his own, even if we head out somewhere else for a while. Agreed. Guiding Norton back to the settlement will cause the story to advance. Oh, I thought it, oh, wow. We totally could have gotten that part of it knocked out when we were out here before. Whatever. We have nothing else to do. We've already done it all, so let's just wait here for him to finish. Alright then, we'll stay here until you finished up. Okay, I'll try not to keep you waiting too long. Reen and the others waited for Norton to finish his photography. And though he was reluctant to leave even after depleting his photo quartz, they finally returned to the settlement. Phew, we're finally back in the settlement. Thanks a million for escorting me back here. I really appreciate it. Thanks to you, I was able to photograph the statue to my heart's desire. I'm just glad you've made it back safe and sound. Yeah, let's go tell the elder. There seems to be quite a commotion over there. What? Exclamation. That's... That doesn't look good. It looks like there's been an horrible car accident. But why here? Isn't that the gentleman we fulfilled a request for this morning? The very same. That's the settlement's doctor, Almer. He couldn't have been the one responsible, could he? Never mind that. We need to go and take a closer look. Armor, are you hurt? Gaius, I'm alright. Sorry for worrying you. What happened here? I was on my way back from gathering herbs in the mountain forest to the north, when all of a sudden I just lost control of the vehicle. Was anyone injured? I suffered a few bumps and bruises, but other than that, fortunately not. I'm just relieved that I didn't end up hurting anyone. I'm glad to know your injuries are light, Amr. Thanks to the winds and the goddess. Thanks be to the winds and goddess. Still, how does one lose control of a vehicle in an area as open and free of obstructions as this? Did you simply lose your concentration for a minute? No, of course not. This car is extremely important to all of us here. I wouldn't dream of driving it carelessly. I'm still not sure what caused it. When I was nearing the settlement, the steering wheel started to feel oddly stiff. Fortunately, the brakes were still functional. Otherwise, I dread to think of what might have happened. I see. Elisa? Cough. Let's see. Elisa, do you think you can work out what went wrong? Probably. You might say it runs in the family. How could I forget? It stands to reason that the scion of the Rhineford group would be quite handy in mechanical matters. Even if she does pretend she wants nothing to do with her family anymore. Could you mind your own business? What you say, though, it's not as true as it used to be. They have some professional engineers at the Reinford company who can't even perform basic maintenance work. Wow, standards in higher education must be slipping. When you compare it to the Zeiss Central factory in Liberl, the Reinford group is getting far too big for its own good. All those giant vertically structured divisions, each with their own subdivisions. Sounds as though becoming the Empire's largest corporation brought its own share of new issues. So, have you managed to figure out what the problem was? I think so. It looks like there was a contact failure in the quartz circuits near the engine. That's probably why you suddenly had difficulty steering, even though it was just fine before. I see. Do you think you can repair it? I doubt it. I can diagnose, but I'm no technician. I think we'll need to call in a professional to fix it. I suppose that means we'll have to ask someone from Zender Gate. Haha, I'm impressed. I can see that Thor's military academy has more to be proud of than just its famous founder. Elder Ivan, Dad. I'm sorry it took us so long to get here. I'm relieved to see that Norton made it back safely. Thank you for your assistance. Oh, no trouble at all. It sounds like you've been able to work out the cause of the problem here. That was all thanks to Elisa. It was nothing, really. There is no shame in being proud of your accomplishments. While I'm glad we've gotten this squared away, we still have something of a problem. What do you mean? This is the settlement's only vehicle. Having it out of commission is going to make things pretty inconvenient around here. The sooner we can get it fixed, the better. I see. In that case, is there anything we can do to help? Are you sure? This isn't part of your field study, you know. I would respectfully disagree. You've treated us to such great food and shown us such hospitality. I want to do what I can to help. But actually repairing the truck is a bit above my skill level. Still, it would be discourteous of us to not at least make an attempt to assist our hosts. Thanks, everyone. If you insist, we'd be more than grateful for any assistance you can provide. If you could bring out someone who could do the repairs, that would be great. That sounds like the best course of action. Should we head to Zender Gate and see if they can spare a mechanic? Actually, I have someone else in mind. Someone far more keen than an army technician for things of this sort. Up near Lake Lacrima, in the Northern Highlands, lives an elderly man from the Empire. I'm sure he'll be able to fix the truck for us if we ask him. True. The hermit could probably have fixed this in no time at all. That cabin near the lake, we passed by earlier, but it seemed vacant. An old man from the Empire who's more reliable than an army technician? Could it really be him? Elisa? So, you want us to go and call this man for you then? If you'd be so kind. There's no hurry though. If you have other things you need to do, by all means, do those first. Either way, we'll need to clean up the site of the accident before anything else. Just handle it as you might if it were a part of your field study. Will do. Okay, everyone, let's finish up anything we have left to do, then head for the cabin at the lake. Lake Lacrima is in the Northern Highlands. We'll need to head north to the Guardian statue, then due northwest from there. We should set out on horseback at once. Dots. Okay, yeah. We don't have anything else we need to do. We can just head right over there from here. Right onto the northern region of the Highlands? Why, yes. Yes, we shall.
Yeah!
And we're gonna use our handy-dandy turbo mode to try to get over there just a little bit faster. RPGs really love sending you back and forth. I mean, it's nice that it kind of forces you to explore, because it's really easy to just get so caught up in grinding and trying to level up that you just kind of skip over everything. So it's nice that it kind of forces you to take in the scenery here and there. But yeah, it's a lot of running around. This way leads to the northern mountains. I don't think that area falls within the scope of our field study. We should turn back. Wait, what? Is it
Yeah.
further this way? Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Whoops. Well, at least we've made it as far as the lake. Is he at home? Well, the boat is there. Oh, and the garage is open now. Well, the boat's at the wharf and the garage door is open, so I'd say it's likely. Excellent. We should go see him at once. Dots.
Yeah.
Ah,
Whoa.
I really do love this area. Such a tranquil little area to settle down. Definitely whoever this guy is, he put a lot of work into this place. Like building a fence, built a dock, built 2 structures, and actually built them quite well by the looks of it. And I mean, this is a decent sized little house for one person. Well, cabin, I guess. Seems like there's someone inside. I suppose it must be the man we came to see then? Yeah, I'll bet he just came back from fishing. For a hermit, he doesn't seem to want for much. So, what are we going to do? After entering the cabin, the time of day will advance to evening, and all of the day's field study activities will end. Knock on the door. Excuse me, is anyone home? It's open, come in. Exclamation! Exclamation! Elisa? Excuse us then. Dots! Hey, it's good to see you again, sir. Well, if it isn't Gaius. Haven't seen you around for, what, half a year now? And little Elisa's here too. Why, I don't think I've seen your face in, must be coming up on 5 years now. Wait, what? Could this be? Grandfather, what are you doing here? She really loves shouting, doesn't she? Well, I guess that's one way to be introduced, but let me give you a proper welcome. Gwyn Rhineford. I'm Gwyn Rhineford, Elisa's favorite granddad. Pleasure to meet you all, Class 7. Honored to meet you, sir. I'm Reen Schwarzer. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Emma Milstein. Eustace Alburea. It's an honor. Ah, a promising group of young folks if ever there was. But you've sure done a lot of growing up in the last 5 years, Elisa. You're taller and bigger. It does this old man's heart good to see how easy on the eyes you've become. Grandfather, please. But forget about me. What have you been doing out here all this time? Back when you disappeared from Ruhr, I'd never have believed it if someone told me this is where I'd find you. Do you have any idea how worried I've been? Oh, come now. I send you letters a couple times a year, don't I? And of course, I read all the ones you give to Sharon too. Still, have you been here the whole time these past 5 years? Just about. I don't stay year-round, though. Spend about half the year traveling around the continent, seeing friends or visiting the Empire. I see. Mr. Rhineford, would you mind if I asked how you know so much about our field study? He does raise an excellent point. It almost seems as though you were expecting us to pay you a visit. Haha, well, it's just a coincidence the truck broke down when it did. But I admit, ever since Irina told me you were coming to the Highlands, I figured I'd see you at some point. Exclamation? Exclamation? You still talk to Mother? Yes, indeed. Though just the bare minimum. That girl's zeal for her work borders on unhealthy. What did I ever do to turn her into such a workaholic? Dots. Elisa? Dots. Anyway, we're all done with our coffee, so let's head over to the settlement and have a look at that truck. Just wait outside a bit while I go grab my tools. Oh, actually, I caught a few good-sized trout. Can you take them over to the settlement when you go? Of course. So, that's the former chairman of the Rhineford Group. I knew of him by name, but he's a far more light-hearted man than I would have guessed. Indeed, he seems very easygoing. You can say what you really think. You're not going to hurt my feelings or anything. Everyone loves him because he's all laid back and approachable, but mostly he's just capricious and irresponsible. And then 5 years ago, he just... Elisa? Never mind. Let's get going. As soon as he's ready, we're heading back to the settlement. Alright. Let's wait for him by the garage. Yes! Make sure there's nothing to do in here. Yep. Ah, man. Like, they really did get the colors of a sunset really well. This is a very, very nice looking area. Even though it's like completely not realistic looking, if I got dropped into this area, I would not be too... I would not have much to complain about. Guys, should we head back to the settlement? Hey, guys, you're on pretty good terms with my grandfather then? Something like that. We've only known him for a couple years, but all of us in the settlement owe him a lot. Myself included. Ah. Okay, we're good to go. Do you mind if I ride with one of you? Grandfather? You aren't driving? Nah, the engine's been acting up a bit lately, so I'd rather not. Besides, how could I pass up the chance to get to know my granddaughter's classmates a little better? Green, right? Got room for one more up there? Sigh. Why did he have to pick Reen? He'd better not be giving him any funny ideas. I'm sure that isn't the case. I'd feel a bit more at ease if you focus more on the reins, though. How's little Sharon doing these days? I heard she recently started working at your dormitory. That's right. I haven't had too much time to get to know her, but she seems really skilled at what she does. Oh, she is. Very much so. But more importantly, she's a real cutie. She always has that lovely, reserved air, but there's a playful side to her, too. I wish she'd sign on as my personal maid. That'd be the life. Yeah. But that Emma girl is really nice, too. She's got those glasses, that hair you want her to let down, and she's class pres material to boot. There's a smoldering homeroom hottie if ever I saw one. Come on, you know you agree with me. Well, I can't really say that I disagree with you, but Laura, if you don't mind my asking, why did you never tell Elisa that you were here? Tell me, Reen, what kind of girl do you see her as? Well, I'd say she's a really hard worker in a great many respects. Oh, I have no doubt of that. She's good-looking, polite, as well-mannered as any noble's daughter, intelligent, and that all comes naturally to her. It's not some persona she forces on herself. Yeah, I'm amazed at how effortless she makes it all seem. And yet, she has a habit of trying to resolve everything without relying on anyone else for support. I'm sure it hasn't escaped your notice of a canny young man like yourself. It does feel like that sometimes, yeah. She's kind, and her sense of duty compels her to always see things through. But she always keeps everything bottled up, like she never wants to let on to anyone that she needs help with a problem. I'm Elisa R. from Ruhr. It's not like I'm trying to make a big deal out of it or anything. It's just, if everyone knew, it'd make things awkward between us, and I don't want that. I have a feeling the relations between her mother and I caused her to end up that way. Or, to be more specific, the conflict between the two of us. Dots. That's why I didn't tell her where I was. But I'll leave it up to her to fill in the details about that. I'm sure that once the two of you are a bit closer, she'll tell you on her own. A bit closer? I have a feeling there's a critical misunderstanding going on here. Oh, is that so? Yes! Laura! I thought there was a little something going on between you two after seeing your name come up in one of her letters. Well, we did have that unfortunate accident back at the start of the year. But that's all it was. We eventually got it sorted out and nothing's really happened since. An accident, eh? Did you accidentally collide with her on your way to school, causing her to drop the toast she held between her sweet lips? And as the dust cleared, did the two of you find yourselves sprawled on the ground in an unlikely yet heart-racing position? That's a really oddly specific question. But I don't know what kind of heart-racing position you're... Exclamation. So, something really did happen, didn't it? Now, just tell old Gwyn here all about it. I want every last juicy detail. Grandfather, please. Random hoof. Oh? I get the feeling we're being watched. I sense a disturbance in the floor. Oh, wait, that's the wrong...
Isn't that... Ooh, it's those military academy students. I wonder what they're doing all the way out here.
Could ask you the same question.
Oh well. Looks like things are gonna start getting interesting. Okay, let's get this mission started! Sheesh. Gramps and the others can be so unreasonable sometimes.
Interesting. That night, the people of the settlement held a banquet at the elder's house for us, Gwyn, and Norton. I don't know what we'd do without you, Gwyn. Here's to you, my friend. And to you. Come on, Lacken. This booze isn't gonna drink itself. Yes, yes. I can still hardly believe it. Finding the famous Gwyn Rhineford out in the sticks like this. You know him then? Of course. He seized on the opportunities of the Orber Revolution to make Rhineford the industrial powerhouse it is today. And it's only gotten bigger since his daughter took over. The Rhineford Company was originally an arms manufacturer, making their name on firearms and such. They underwent a massive expansion of their lineup and started working on orbital weapons and railway projects. I suppose that's what it must have looked like to the nobility. But the company does business all across the continent, not just domestically. Gwyn has a refreshingly international outlook for an Erebonian businessman. I see. I knew he was a keen man, but I didn't realize he was that famous. The real mystery is why someone would walk away from that in the first place. Some people say he got ill and had no choice but to stand down, but look at him now. He's the picture of health. So maybe there's some truth to that old rumor after all. Oh? What do you mean? As Alisa slowly turns to look this direction. Just something I heard a long time ago. No real proof of it, and we at the Imperial Chronicle aren't in the business of printing baseless speculation. Elisa? Ugh, I think my eyes were bigger than my stomach. I'm gonna go out and get a little fresh air, okay? All right. Elisa? Reen, Elisa's going to get some fresh air. Would you mind going and keeping her company? Not at all. But why me? You're the class president and all. You'd make for better company. No, trust me. I think you're definitely the man for the job. Well, if you say so. Alright, I'll be back in a little while then.
I'm such an idiot. What am I even doing?
Wow, would you look at that view? Amazing, isn't it, Elisa? It's so pretty. Come on, you two. We need to get going. We're running behind schedule. Now, let them have their fun. It's not often you have a day off like this. Why not try and relax for once?
Elisa?
Oh, Reen. Well, what are you doing out here? Did you eat too much?
My mouth says no, but my stomach's thinking yes. You doing okay? You seem a bit unsteady there.
Nothing like that. I'm just feeling a little out of it. I'm just going to stay out here for a while and get some fresh air. Then I'll be Whoa! Sorry about that.
See? What did I tell you? We've been riding all day. I'm not surprised you're feeling tired.
Yeah, and riding, especially for that long on rough terrain, can definitely make you like numb from the waist down. Like, yeah, you'll get off the horse and you'll forget how to stand. It can get bad.
Riding a horse really takes it out of you.
I guess you're right. Why didn't that occur to me before?
Hey, Elisa, look up at the sky.
Huh? Oh, wow.
You know, I have to admit, the sky texture in this scene right here is almost on par with Skyrim's. Like, and I mean, Skyrim's got probably my favorite night sky out of every game I've played, but this is a pretty good looking. Like, the quality of the night sky just makes everything else look subpar. Dots.
You know, I didn't even notice it last night because we turned in so early. But now that we know, if you're out here to get some air, better to take in the starlight than look at the ground, right?
Hey, that's a good way to put it. Dots.
You're right.
I gotta stop hitting the microphone.
My father was a technician. 8 years ago, he passed away. My family was never really the same after that. Mother was director of the company back then. She focused all of her energy on making the Rhineford group even bigger. She used to treasure our family, but after that, it's like she could barely spare a thought for us.
Oh, she did seem like a talented businesswoman when we met her. Well, more than talented to run the Rhineford group.
What you saw in River Station was just a watered-down version of her normal intensity. We'd be able to have dinner together maybe once every 3 months, and that's being generous. But at least I wasn't alone. Grandfather and Sharon were always there for me.
That's how it was, huh? I guess you've known Sharon for a long time then.
Yeah, my mother hired her about 7 years ago. Being a Rhineford and all, I never had many people I could really call friends when I was young. The nobles looked down on me, of course, but the common people treated me like I was different from them, too. At least with my grandfather and Sharon around, I never felt totally alone. Grandfather introduced me to all kinds of different hobbies, like horseback riding and playing the violin. Sharon taught me self-defense and archery, and all the high society etiquette expected of a lady. Meanwhile, my mother kept expanding the company completely against the wishes of my grandfather, the chairman.
I see. Though, hasn't Rhineford always been a big industrial company?
Kind of, yeah. Even back then, they took on projects in all fields, from steel mills to railway construction to guns and tanks. It's not surprising there are people out there who like to call the company a merchant of death. I can't say I completely agree with that side of the company, but I've never felt embarrassed or ashamed about it. But a few years ago, the Rhineford Group finally went too far.
What do you mean?
Those 2 railway guns set up in Gorelia Fortress on the eastern edge of the Empire? You know about those, right?
Exclamation.
Yeah, I've heard of them. They're supposed to have the longest range of any orbital cannon in the world.
Remember the prologue?
I've only seen their spec sheets, but the destruction they're capable of is terrifying. Erebonia's still fighting with Calvert over Crossbell, and those guns are capable of targeting any point in Crossbell State. In just a couple hours, they could wipe Crossbell City and its 500,000 citizens off the map.
No way. That's way beyond being a weapon of war. More like an instrument of massacre.
I couldn't agree more. And neither could my grandfather, who supervised their construction. Even though my mother was the one who signed off on the project, my grandfather regretted it like the decision was his. As he was hesitating over whether to hand them over to the Imperial Army, my mother betrayed him.
What?
She went behind his back and secured the support of all of Rhineford's major shareholders. Everyone from Ruhr's ruling lord Marquis Ragnar to the top brass of the Imperial Army was on her side. In the face of such overwhelming pressure from all sides, my grandfather was forced to capitulate. He stepped down as chairman, and my mother wasted no time taking his place. That's when my grandfather decided to leave the company entirely, and me. I thought I'd at least have Sharon on my side, but she just did whatever my mother told her to do. It's been 5 years since then already.
Oh.
Dots.
I think I get it now. Why she gets under your skin, I mean. It's not so much what your mother did, but how it ended up tearing your family apart.
Yeah. I couldn't believe my mother would betray her own father. I couldn't believe grandfather would take it without fighting back. I couldn't believe Sharon, who'd always supported me, watched it all happen without a word of protest. It really drove it home to me, how big the Rhineford Group was now, and how small I was. I hated realizing it had become so large that corporate interests were stronger than family ties. Looking back, I guess that's when I decided I'd leave home and enroll in the academy.
Dots.
Even when I ran, I couldn't go far enough to escape my mother's shadow, or the Rhineford name. Then I come here and find my grandfather happily enjoying a whole new life without a care in the world. When I stepped outside, I was feeling so lost, so frustrated, wondering what I'd been doing all this time. But it's kind of strange, you know? I look up at the stars and it feels like I can escape the gravity of everything. I think I'm finally starting to understand why my grandfather chose to leave it all behind and move out here in the first place.
You really are strong, Elisa. Stronger than you realize. You were finally ready to talk about it, about your family and the company and everything. So maybe you found what you were looking for to move past that, right?
Maybe you're right, but I don't think I would have been able to if I hadn't enrolled at the academy. Meeting everyone in Class 7, the lacrosse club, you, I'm a better person for it. Your support has already made a difference. So, thanks. Thanks for worrying about me. And thanks for reminding me to look up, not down.
Anytime. Though, truth be told, I came to check on you because Emma asked me to. Sorry to ruin the moment.
I thought that might be the case. Oh well, there's always next time. It's kind of strange to hear you tell me I'm strong, because I could say the same thing about you. You always seem to get thrust into the role of leader, someone we can count on to keep us on track.
I guess running errands on all my free days is really helping me buckle down. Still, I feel like I've got a long way to go, especially when I keep running from myself.
Huh?
Remember back in Keldic? I said that I came to the academy to find myself. But sometimes, I wonder if maybe I just wanted to get away. From my family, from myself.
Oh. Do you not get along well with your family?
Oh, I do. I'm not their real son, but my parents always loved me like I was. My sister and I, we've had our differences, especially lately, but we still get along pretty well. No, the problem's just with me.
Reen. Still, I suppose the fact you were finally ready to talk about it means that maybe you found what you were looking for to move past that, right?
Exclamation.
Who'd have thought I'd have the chance to feed you your own good advice so soon?
I gotta stop hitting the microphone. That's like the 6th time today.
I can't believe you can just say things like that with a straight face. Maybe being on the receiving end every now and then will do you some good.
All right, you got me. I admit defeat. But yeah, I guess I'm starting to figure things out in my own way. Maybe enrolling at Thoris was the first thing I'd done right in a long time. I ended up in Class 7, and now all of us are out here like this, spending time together.
Yeah, I like that. I hope the things we learned during our field studies can help us all make a difference in the world. So, wait, all of us?
You two were gone so long that we started to get a little worried.
Dots. Exclamations.
No way! How long have you been listening?
Still, I suppose the fact that you were finally ready to talk about it means that maybe you found what you were looking for to move past that, right?
Stop! Reen, he was the one who said it first. I was just repeating it back to him.
Oh, Lisa, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Honestly, you touched my heart.
I apologize for eavesdropping on you, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad I did.
How did I end up in the middle of this anyway? Fine, if that's how you want to play it, none of you are getting any sleep until you've shared all your most embarrassing secrets.
What? I
You wish.
Seems like you did well.
Honestly, I feel like she helped me more than I helped her. Hey, guys? This is a really beautiful place.
Yeah, ain't it?
Ooh, you're moving up in the world.
Yeah.
I've got a little reward here for you.
Yeah.
Drinks are on me someday.
Yeah. Okay, 02:55 hours. Shift's almost over. No sign of anything suspicious, or anything at all, really. Why do we even do this every day? You do know what the point of having a sentry is, right? Oh, hey, you're early. But come on now. You've got to get where I'm coming from, at least a little. I could understand if we were posted near a crossbow, but who's gonna start a war out here in the boondocks? You never know, right? Perhaps the fact that you'd never expect it would make it the perfect place to start a war. Besides, Lieutenant General Vander says we need to stay on alert, and he knows the situation better than we do. The Lieutenant General's a great man, yeah. But what are those big shots from the 3rd Armored Division doing stationed in some backwater place like this anyway? You think that rumor's true? That he got posted here because he wouldn't help the Blood and Iron Chancellor? Well, watch what you say. That kind of idle gossiping is how rumors get wings. Fine, fine. Such a killjoy. Anyway, you got things covered here. I want to go get some sleep. Got a few minutes left on my shift, but you're here, and hey, who's counting? Honestly. Exclamations. Oh, wait, what was that? Exclamations? What the? What happened? Did they just get shelled? Who had the order to attack? No one. I've heard nothing of the sort. Zendergate needs to know about the exclamations. What the? No way. Ah! An enemy attack! Where's it coming from? No! Oh, adios. And that, my good people, is where I am going to ruthlessly and cruelly end this episode. We will see you next time in part, 41 of Shenanaguy Plays The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. Goodbye for now.